I knew something in my marriage had died the moment my wife looked at me the way people look at outdated furniture, useful once but now just taking up space. It happened on an ordinary Tuesday evening. I just come home from work, still wearing my dusty work boots, when she sighed dramatically and said, "You know, sometimes I wish I'd married someone with real ambition." She didn't even look up from her phone. Someone exciting. Not. She waved her hand toward me. Boring. The word didn't just land. It cut. I stood there in the doorway, holding a bag of groceries I'd picked up because she'd said she was too tired to cook. My fingers went numb around the handles. I wanted to say something, defend myself, ask her what she meant, but all I managed was, "Since when do you think I'm boring?" She set her phone down slowly, like she'd been waiting for that question. "Since always, Mark," she said, her voice cold but steady. "You go to work, come home, sleep. You have no real drive. No dreams. Nothing that makes life exciting." Then she smiled thin, almost rehearsed. "I just want more." I didn't know then that more meant someone else. For weeks after that conversation, the house felt colder, even when sunlight poured through the curtains. She started dressing differently. Flashier, tighter clothes, expensive perfumes I hadn't seen before. She'd leave the house claiming she was meeting old friends or running errands, but something about the way she avoided eye contact told me those weren't the whole truth. I blamed myself. Maybe I was boring. Maybe working a stable job, paying bills on time, and trying to be a decent husband wasn't enough for her. What I didn't know was that I was being compared, the worst kind of comparison, behind my back. The truth came out one evening when I stepped outside to take the trash to the curb. Our neighbor Ray, the guy with the spotless lawn and too big pickup truck, was leaning against his fence smoking. He nodded at me, then hesitated. "You all right, man?" he asked. I shrugged. "Yeah, just tired." He studied me for a second more. Then he said, "Listen, Mark. There's something you should know." My stomach tightened. "What?" He exhaled long and slow. "Your wife, she's been coming by my place almost every day the past few weeks." The trash bag slipped a little in my grip. "What do you mean coming by?" He grimaced. "Not for me. For him." "Him who?" "That guy with the motorcycle. The one who visits his cousin 2 houses down. I think his name is Adrian." My heartbeat roared in my ears. "They've been meeting on my side of the yard," Ray said. "I overheard her telling him she's planning to leave you because you're too small-minded." Her words, not mine. My chest tightened until I couldn't breathe. Ray flicked his cigarette, then added quietly, "I'm telling you because I've seen the way you look at her. You don't deserve this." I stood there, gripping the trash bag so tightly the plastic tore, garbage spilling onto the driveway. That night, when she came home around 11 p.m., hair tousled and smelling like someone else's cologne, I didn't confront her. I watched her slip off her heels, humming softly. She was happy. Not with me, just happy. And for the first time in my life, something inside me turned cold. The next morning, fate handed me something unexpected. Ray knocked on my door at 7 a.m., a manila folder in his hand. "I didn't want to get involved," he said. "But she's been bragging about using you. Thought you should see this." Inside were screenshots, messages she'd accidentally synced to her old tablet, which Ray's teenage son had repaired last month. Messages she never thought anyone else would see. "I'll leave him soon. He's too comfortable being a nobody. Once I get my hands on the savings, we can start fresh. He'll hand it over willingly. He's too soft." My jaw clenched. But the last message was the one that killed whatever love I had left. "Sometimes I think he was just a stepping stone. A safety net. I need a man who dreams bigger." My hands shook. Ray placed a hand on my shoulder. "If you ever need anything, anything at all, you know where I am." I nodded, unable to speak. But revenge isn't always dramatic. Sometimes it's quiet, calculated, controlled. That very afternoon, I went to the bank and separated my accounts. I moved my savings, changed my PINs, froze our joint credit card. I didn't touch a single thing that legally belonged to her. I left everything exactly where it was, except I removed her access to me. That night, she waltzed into the kitchen with a suspiciously bright smile. "Babe," she said, kissing my cheek. "So I was thinking, maybe we should invest in that new business idea I mentioned last week?" I'd never seen her so sweet. So soft. So desperate. Oh, I said calmly, stirring my coffee. I already used the savings. She froze. Used it? For what? For something exciting. I met her eyes. You said I needed more ambition. Her face drained of color. Mark, I told you that in anger. You can't just make decisions with our money. I interrupted. You never contributed to that account. She opened her mouth, then closed it. I continued. By the way, you won't be able to access it anymore. Her mask cracked instantly. What did you do? Protected myself. She blinked rapidly, panic rising. Mark, stop acting crazy. I'm not, I said softly. But packing your things before the weekend might help. What? I know about Adrian. Her mouth fell open. The lie formed before the truth could. But she saw in my eyes that it wouldn't matter. And Ray, I added. He sends his regards. Her entire face twisted with humiliation. The next day, Ray helped me change the locks while she stood on the sidewalk screaming that I'd ruined her life. But there was no satisfaction in watching her fall apart. Just a strange, heavy peace, like watching the final flame of a burnt-out candle fade. When she finally stormed off, dragging her suitcase behind her, Ray looked at me and said, You know, you're not boring, Mark. You're loyal, steady, real. Some people confuse that for weakness. I stared at the empty street where she'd disappeared. Not anymore, I said. And for the first time in months I meant it.